The guys from John's Marine Upholstery are here, and we're talking about new cushion covers for the cockpit and the salon. That means living room. This legend of a guy over here is Urel. He's the guy who lent me an AC unit and a couple of cold ones. He's here to translate because I don't speak a lick of Spanish, and John's crew doesn't English too good either. But that doesn't stop us from working together, and it actually makes it a bit more fun. Urel helps to translate the gist of what I'm looking for, as well as a few important details like Velcro and zipper locations. Then he has to head off, so we switch to Google Translate, which is honestly one of the best things ever created. I flipped through a sample booklet of sunbrella material. It's water resistant, not waterproof, but it's relatively affordable, easy to clean, comes in loads of colors, and is pretty traditional for exterior cushions. I pick a lighter shade of gray for inside and a darker shade for outside. I'll want all of the exterior canvas to be this color. John tells me the cushions will cost about $2,000, which is a great price compared to all the other quotes I got. So they load up the goods and they're on their way. Next I go on to West Marine's website and look at stoves because the old one's busted. I end up going with this one, which I'll link in the description because the only thing I love more than gray is black. Now it's time to work on the toilets. I started by removing the old toilet, then held my breath and cleaned up all the terrible things that came out of the old plumbing. I'm interrupted by some pretty heavy rain, which shows me that I did a terrible job replacing these deck hatches. Hatches 1, chase 0. I lay out some buckets to catch my new indoor waterfall, then take a look at the gray water tank. This is what's called a sump pump. It pumps out the water from your showers and sinks, and this makeshift one just ain't working anymore. I vacuum out the dirty water, then scrub the bejesus out of my bilge till it's sparkly clean. Then reward myself with one of my favorite movies. The next morning we're meeting with Paul. He's here to do a rigging survey. The standing rigging is about 10 years old, which is about as old as it can get before replacing it all. So I'm not surprised when Paul shows me that a lot of items are cracked and need to be replaced immediately. It's expensive to have someone do your rigging for you, but I don't feel confident enough to take on the job myself, and I want the education that comes with watching a professional do his thing. When he leaves, I take a shower in my very spacious bathroom, then head to Nautical Ventures. This place is the go-to dealership in Fort Lauderdale for tenders and luxury yacht toys that I can't afford. I'm here to look at the Highfield Classic 310. A rugged and lightweight little beauty with 10 foot and 2 inches of overall length. It's a little more than I probably need, but I have no interest in sailing alone, and I want lots of space for friends to come along. We talk about some options and I place an order. Back at the boat, I'm working to replace the hatch I messed up on. This time I use more sealant and put some sealant on the screws before tightening them down. As night falls, I continue to go through the boat. I find lots of cool receipts, books, and evidence of the boat's previous travels. Then I pour myself a mega pint of wine to cap off another day. The next morning, I'm ready for some more business. I start by cleaning up the crew cabin with some simple green, then organize a few lockers. Now that I'm fully awake, I start to tackle the sump pump. I purchased this one from West Marine. It's a pretty simple contraption. Your shower and sink water drain down into this strainer, which catches any hair or what have you. Then as the water rises, it activates this float switch, which turns on the 1100 gallon per hour pump to send the water to a holding tank or directly overboard. I get all the old plumbing pulled off, then pop open this electrical box. It's meant to protect wires and wet spaces. I shut off the breaker and make sure the power's off, then realize I don't have all the fittings I need for the install, and I'll have to head to Lowe's. I share a bit of lunch on the bow with the little man, but he's being picky, so I load up some trash and head out. I grab the fittings that I'll need, then a few more things I'll need for the boat, and after a bit of a struggle, I get everything plumbed, then use my heat gun on these heat shrink wire connectors. It's really cool to watch, by the way. I get everything working the way it should, then take out some more trash and measure out the cockpit because this old teak has got to go. I've changed my mind since filming this, but my original idea was to go with this super affordable EVA flooring from Amazon as a replacement. Spoiler alert, you get what you pay for, and I'll soon regret this choice. I quickly measure the lifelines to order some safety netting for Charlie, and next I take a break to plant a little spice garden. I don't know why I go on these time-wasting tangents, but I guess it makes it all a bit more fun. It's time for some more organizing, so I head back to the crew cabin. I'm getting rid of the old mattresses for the bunk beds because I'm just going to use this space as storage going forward. I organize some of the more useful things left behind from the old owner, like fins and fishing gear, then spend the whole night working on the electrical for the toilets. The next morning, Charlie has to fight off the blankie monster before I can get started back up on the toilets. I switch the base around so the pump is on the side and there's more room behind the toilet, then stare at the instruction manuals for a good while. The install is super difficult because I have to connect everything inside a cabinet that's slightly wider than my hand. While working, I realize there's a leak at the bottom of the sink, but a quick tighten makes it go away so I can get back to wiring, drilling, and mounting the toilet. Testing out the new seat, I don't want to get up. But there ain't no rest for the wicked, and I've got a boat to rebuild. There's some more struggling, some fender adjustments, and another trip to the store to grab hose clamps and waterproof wire nuts. The Jabsco toilets come with a little template for the switch cutouts, so it makes it easy to get things where you want them. I drilled them out with a hole saw, and after the switches are wired and everything's looking good, I decided to clean up a bit in preparation for a visit from some of my friends. We take some photos for the wall of fame and shame, then I get some wine-fueled bachata lessons on the bow. Maybe I'm still in the honeymoon phase, but I'm loving living on this boat and sharing it with my friends. The next day, I awake to the sins of last night, and my head is killing me. I start by hiding the evidence and spraying off the deck. Renovating a boat isn't easy while you're partying on it too. The South Florida rainy season is robbing me of some productivity and is sure to show me that once again I failed on the deck hatch install. I grab the buckets and a shop vac, then batten down the hatches. Once again, the buckets are for catching the stream of mistakes, and the shop vac is for this toilet because I drunkenly decided to test it out last night and, well, let's just say it's not working. I mess around with the plumbing for a bit, trying to get the toilets working, but Charlie has the zoomies, so we head to the store to grab a few more fittings. I also grab myself this cool machete because I fantasize about cutting firewood on an island someday. Then I take a load to the dumpster and watch the party boat roll by to finish off a pretty unproductive day. The next morning I was back to normal, so I loaded up the little man and took multiple trips to the truck with some old junk we've removed from the boat. We head to Fort Lauderdale's West Marine again, and I'm starting to feel like I live here since the staff all knows Charlie by name. I pick up another deck hatch and that perfect little stove that I picked up, then find a life jacket for him while the other shoppers give him some loveys. We head back to the boat to check out the goods, and I decide to do a bit of decorating. This is my mama's stamp collection from when she was a little girl. It's honestly one of the coolest gifts I've ever received, and it looks great on the wall. Charlie and I head over to Walmart to pick up a few things for a guest that comes to town tomorrow. We grab a foam mattress topper, new sheets, and a comforter for one of the guest cabins. I race the buggy through the parking lot and head back to Grace. These old mattresses aren't the most comfortable, so my solution is to unroll a king-size mattress topper onto the bed, then cut the excess away since the bed isn't square. It worked like a charm, and I got the cabin looking fit for a VIP. I organized all night and danced in the cabin with Charlie to cap it off. The next morning I'm ready for reinforcements. I make the normal West Marine run and grab some hose for us to install and some bean bags for us to chill on. They didn't exactly fit in the cart. Back at the boat, I test out the view and store them down below. Then I get rid of even more trash, then head to the store to do some provisioning. I'm sure to grab lots of wine. My dad has finally arrived. He's brought his dog Brisbane with him, so Charlie and I couldn't be happier. My whole family has dreamt of boat ownership for years, so I fantasized about this exact moment. I'm so proud that I can share this beautiful boat with my family, and his help means the world to me. My dad is the ultimate fixer, and we're about to get a lot done. I spend the night giving him the tour and running some project ideas past him. We finish the night by sharing a meal and toasting on the bow. Once the sun's back up, we game plan a bit and write a list of the projects we want to tackle this week. It's time to get things done. We carry out the old stove and load it up in the truck and quickly grind off this old lock. It's time to finish the hatches once and for all. The old screws are rusty and stuck on this other hatch, so we give them some convincing and get everything freed up. We go on a tangent and hook up the new stove to the propane lines. I guess I measured perfectly because the new stove drops right into place. We just have to adjust the position where it locks to the wall if we ever don't want it to gimbal. We quickly study the propane setup and think of a few things to make it safer, then head to West Marine again. We grab some new style for my dad because he's jealous of mine, then grab some denatured alcohol, 5200 sealant, a stern shower, and some stainless steel hardware. Time to do this thing right. The denatured alcohol is for prepping the surface and removing any dirt or old sealant. We tape around the edges, then load it up with way more sealant than before, and are happy when we see excess squeeze out onto the tape. We can pull up the tape for a clean line later. The next day we load up some old parts, then make our daily trip to West Marine where the staff shows us this piece we need for the grill install, and my dad buys me a dock cart that'll save me a lot of extra trips to the truck. We head over to Sailorman and get a few bucks for the old hatch, the outboard crane, and the solar panels, and it's a quick stop to fill up the propane bottles on the way back to the boat. The propane locker is filthy, so I clean it up with some rust remover and I'm able to get it looking pretty good. Next I crawl into the steering compartment to run the new gas line and hook up the stern shower since it's an easy job and the old one was broken off. My dad works on the gas fittings while I install the rail mounts and get everything looking good. The boat used to call London home, but we've changed it to Charleston, South Carolina, so it's time to mount the new flag. Today was actually the 4th of July and it just felt right to install the American flag on this day. My dad has got the new stove working so we can finally make our own meals on the boat, but we're sure to sneak some to Charlie in Brisbane. I hang up the old flag to pay respects, plus it just looks cool. Then I head up to start chipping up teak. This might be one of the dumbest ideas I've had, but this old teak is rotten and screws are popping up. Some of them are so bad that they literally pull right up. and there's just not enough life left in the wood to try to refinish it. My dad gets back from the store with the temporary air conditioning unit, and we get that set up because it's hot as hell in South Florida and my dock neighbor needs his back soon. Next, we grab my secret ingredient and cook up some burgies to test out the new amazing grill. And let me tell you, she cooks great. Thanks to all my dad's help, the electric toilets are finally working, so I decided to test them out the only way I know how, and I'm happy to report there's no issues on that end. The only problem is now I have to do it all over again in the other bathroom. I clean up the surface and fill the old holes, then head up top to scrape away at teak all night. I actually can't believe how long this is going to take, and I'm regretting it already. But I'm sure to bite into some wine to keep enjoying the pirate life. The next morning we start the day at West Marine to get everything we need so we don't have to make the run again later. We grab a few more plumbing fittings for the toilet discharge and a few cleaning products. The dogs have been amazing boat helpers, so we reward them with some pup cups, and I'm back working on the final toilet. I switch the motor location around on the base, then get it in the perfect place to allow for more leg room and trace out where the mounting holes will be. I quickly drill them and get it mounted, then crawl around to get the toilet hooked up to the electrical panel. I use a push rod to shove the wire over to the bathroom where my dad pulls it out on the other end. We decide to take a break because the one and only Alex Propson is here, so we head outside to chip away at the teak. Hours of work brings little progress, and once Alex heads out, it's time to finish up with the toilet install. Only problem is the lid won't open in this new mounting location, so I'm feeling like a big idiot now. We get our minds off the frustration by grilling up some guy dinner to cap off the day. The next day I wake up and shave on the stern, then we work to fix some sprinty floorboards. It's actually called a cabin sole, but who really cares? We're wrapping up on the deck hatch install because I can finally trust they aren't leaking, so I head up forward to redo the other one correctly. After only 30 minutes we've got it back in. I'd say I'm a pro now at installing hatches. Hatches 2, chase 1. After some thinking, I decide to just move the toilet's base ever so slightly, and I'm able to open the lid just fine. Finishing up on the toilet install brings relief like no other. Charlie's sleeping the day away, but we've got to head over to John's Marine Upholstery. They finished up the interior cushions and even loaned me their truck to get them back to the boat. I can't recommend them enough. The boat is finally starting to feel like a home, and this week with my dad has been one of the best weeks of my life. I won't soon forget it. After some much needed rest, I spend some time cleaning up the boat and setting up another guest cabin. I brave the rain because more reinforcements are here. I'm picking up my best friend Earl and his lovely girlfriend Carew. I'm excited to show it to them, and they help me stock up the bar. Then it's straight back to work. We all start hammering away at the teak while it rains on us, and Carew looks after Captain Charlie. If you're wondering, I did try using a fiend tool, but it didn't make any progress, even with a new blade. It starts to pour outside, so we start to pour as well. We go over our new cigar collection and take a few photos for the wall. Then we start to get a little more than tipsy and play some heads up. It was such a good night. The next day I grab some Tylenol and get started installing some of the fake teak. Carew is still puppy sitting, and Earl's cutting the pieces to size, but drops the X-Acto knife in the drink and has to go on a rescue mission. He managed to get it back, no harm done. I'd show you more about the synthetic teak install we put so much effort into, but it turned out like crap, so I won't waste your time. As you can imagine, this week flew by, so it's unfortunately time for my dad to head home. It's always emotional saying goodbye to my dad, and this next clip explains why.
You're so cool, my friends, and you come down here for a week and left your dreams and your work to help me with mine. And
my dream is to make you succeed.
I really love you. I hope you know. You're the best dad ever. I appreciate you. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Thanks for always being there to help, Dad. I love you. I also want to say thanks so much for watching this far in the video. I'm having a lot of fun making these, and I really appreciate everyone's feedback on the videos. I also want to give a huge shout out to one of my favorite Below Deck charter guests, Margie, for this amazing bottle of wine she sent me as a boat warming present. We thoroughly enjoyed drinking it after my dad left. Thank you to everyone who's supporting this work on Patreon. You mean the freaking world to me. I'm trying to treat these videos as a full-time job, and you're helping me work towards making that a reality. So if you're able to support on Patreon, it's linked in the description below, as well as all the parts I used on this video for your convenience. Cheers to you wherever you are in the world, and yeah, Chasing Grace, signing off.
I got the screwdriver.
I didn't even know you were up there.
Just show me an escalator. What about the elevator? What about the elevator?
Bye.